Hi there, welcome to the Bristol Show 2025. I am Brad from Audio T, and joined with me today is Graham from Black Rhodium.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank you for joining me. So, most people will obviously know who you are, but give us an overview of who Black Rhodium are and what you do.
Black Rhodium, a specialist cable company. We believe in trying to reduce all the distortions you get in a cable that prevent people enjoying their music. And we want to give our customers the very best sound from the cables, whatever price they are prepared to pay.
Yep. And you've brought us some examples today. These are very beautifully crafted cables.
Those cables with the yellow bands, they are our new Extra by Black Rhodium. 2 years ago at Bristol, we launched the Intro by Black Rhodium, which is a special range of cables designed for people buying their first entry-level system.
Right.
So Intro has done particularly well in loudspeaker cables and RCA interconnects, and to a lesser extent XLR and power cables. So we looked at some of our other Intro cables, which were priced slightly higher, and we realised that we were not achieving quite the level of sales that we did on the Intro speaker cables and RCR.
Got you.
Which for some dealerships were quite reasonably good numbers.
Yeah.
So we decided to take the bull by the horns and bring in a loudspeaker cable, an RCA interconnect, and an XLR interconnect, and we gave the brand a new name, Extra by Black Rhodium. Now, we knew that RCA interconnects and speaker cables are the best-selling items. So we're spearheading the sales of those. We already had a tone arm cable and a mains power cable that we'd introduced into Intro at a high price level.
Yeah.
And those were perfect for the Extra label. So we've added those too. The power cable, for example, has already been given a 5-star review in Hi-Fi Choice.
Yeah.
As an Intro cable, but it's exactly the same cable sold as Extra now.
Brilliant. Well, are you constructing these yourself, or are you actually working at the bench putting them together, or?
Well, I don't do much actual soldering and assembly cable these days because I've got two very good colleagues who do that
Brilliant.
for me. But I try to concentrate more on the marketing, explain why people need good cables, how much it improves the sound of your music, and how much more wonderful it is to enjoy the music with really good sound.
Well, to the point where you've written a book.
That's right.
Yeah. So all audio cables obey the laws of physics.
Well, over the years, we have been improving cables, getting good reviews, and it's been getting better and better all the time. Then we realised that every time we introduced a new feature of engineering that improved the sound of our cables, we could understand it by understanding the laws of physics.
Yeah.
So we did an about face. If the laws of physics we know about are telling us how to improve cables, what other laws of physics are there that influence the performance of cables that we need to work on? And we found there were a couple of them that we really did need to work on. One was the vibration in cables.
Right.
And we started by introducing a large metal vibration damper in the middle of the cable. That damped the vibration and much improved the sound. And then we worked on to a vibration damping braid, which on a long length of cable was actually as effective as the weights, the vibration dampers, but at a lower price. They could do the same job at a lower price. So we started using those a lot more. And there were other things we tried to develop because until we actually got the last of the types of laws of physics understood and found really good solutions, our cables weren't good enough.
Right.
When we developed the final version of the Charleston loudspeaker cable, and that was very fortunate to get Cable of the Year from Hi-Fi Plus magazine, we found it was far, far better sound-wise than anything we developed before, because every one of the distortions we discovered, we found a solution to tame. What I noticed, particularly in my own listening, was how bass notes in the background of music, which normally just form a warm background, were clear and very distinct. And that's quite often difficult. Additionally, when we looked at other things, we found that the treble notes of music, particularly a large choir, they really soared beautifully. For example, I always think of Bach German Requiem as being extremely difficult to play and enjoy on a hi-fi system, because somehow the choirs seem to gel and merge and not sound like real live performance. But with the very last improvements we made to the cables, I could listen to that and enjoy it.
Yeah.
All these things may seem subtle, but they're very important if you want to enjoy your music.
Absolutely. I think there are people out there that still believe that the improvement on cables is all snake oil, and that a lot of it is just it's all hearsay. But obviously, the proof is in the pudding.
Well, that's
as we
right.
say.
I mean, people used to quote Ohm's law and say that if a cable behaved Ohm's law, then every cable was the same. But it ignores the many laws of physics that affect the performance of cables. And of course, we live in an age of computers, and the computers generate a lot of high frequency noise, which enters the audio cables and modulates the signal and creates distortion. For example, one thing we found on testing was we placed a large ferrite over a cable. The bass frequencies were tighter and clear, even though ferrites are only supposed to be reducing the frequencies above audibility.
And we were talking just before we started filming that these very impressive phono cables you've got here that feature some precious metals, I believe.
That's right. Several years ago, we did studies of every metal that could reasonably be used in audio cables. Some were a bit awkward to use. Things like zinc, if you soldered it with too high a temperature, it melted. Things like aluminium, it's very difficult to avoid creepage of the material. So you might lose a connection over time. But we found, quite amazingly, that the more expensive it was to buy, say, a length of wire to make a cable, the better it sounded. It's almost like a law of physics in itself. Why this is, I don't know, but certainly the very best sounds I've heard are from the metals in the precious metal ranges, what is known as the platinum group, which includes palladium, rhodium, iridium, and a couple
palladium that were inside these.
That's right. About 10 years ago, we bought a length of palladium wire, very fine, because even fine wire is extremely expensive, and put that in a tube, and we designed a cable around it, and the sound was lovely.
Brilliant.
Then, as we developed the cables, we found that there were ways we could improve those cables by things like screening and vibration damping on top. So this particular range of cables, Cantata, were developed with that in mind. In other words, they've got far more screening than the original Cantata cables have, and they sound a lot better.
And did you say that these are your most expensive cables.
They are, but we're not manufacturing them in a big way, because since we bought our first quantity of palladium, the price has more than doubled.
Wow.
You put and the price is the most expensive part of the cable anyway.
Yeah.
So you're multiplying by a factor of 2 or 3 on the price of the cable over and above the same cable before.
Yeah, of course.
So we have developed another metal which we don't reveal that we use in our expensive cables. It's not quite as good, but it's at least affordable in a high-end cable.
You've got to keep the secrets.
There's certain things we don't tell too much, because some things are easy to copy.
Yeah, of course.
But
and you know, because
it's the principles that count, not the actual ways you do it.
well, yeah, and you know, I think you could argue that the cable industry is quite a saturated market. So you've got to have something that distinguishes you from the competitors.
Well, that's right. Yes. What distinguishes us is that we've looked at all the laws of physics, found out what the problem was, and devised good solutions to satisfy all those requirements. And that's what makes our cables very enjoyable to listen to. And having reached the pinnacle with the Charleston and later the flamenco loudspeaker cables, we're taking this technology downwards, making the cables simpler, less parts, less expensive materials. So we're providing a new range of cables at lower, much more affordable prices that use the same principles, but at an affordable price.
Well, that's brilliant, and you know, it's fantastic to see you at the show again this year. How many shows have you done now?
Oh, I wouldn't like to count. The thing I like about coming to shows is you meet, particularly Bristol, is you meet so many customers that you've met that's bought your cables in the past.
Yeah.
But I have been coming to Bristol since 1987.
Wow. I was born in '86.
Sorry?
I was born in '86. So yeah, we'll leave that there. Graham, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
It's brilliant to have you. And guys, take care. You have a good one. Bye now.
Thank you.